off as usual.
Yeah, hello everybody. Sorry for the delay. Bees wanted to train a little bit longer.
Always do.
Obviously, it's not the game that we wanted to be in. Obviously, we wanted to be at the Eagle Stadium. We feel privileged anyway to be at this stadium and a beautiful arena and finish things off in this Gold Cup. We want to finish it off, as I said, right after the game on a high note with a very good performance, obviously with a win. And we want to continue our process towards 2018. So this is year one after the World Cup in Brazil, and a year of rebuilding the pieces and bringing in young new players, trying a lot of things out. Obviously, we wanted to win this tournament badly. There's no doubt about it. But if I look at the tournament overall, it's maybe not as negative as some think right now, which I totally understand. I know we were going in the tournament with 2 wins, securing spot number 1 after 2 games. We got into the quarterfinals and took care of business, and then we lost against a very, very tough Jamaican side because of 2 set pieces. Other than that, I said that after the game, it's no complaint. Yes, we could have scored a couple of goals. We should have. We didn't do that. And now, it's a moment of disappointment for a couple of days, but we want to kind of take care of that then tomorrow and make it a really, really big moment for this guy here, for DeMarcus Beasley. I asked him to reconsider his retirement, to come and help us in the knockout stage, and it was all going by plan until he hurt himself in the first training. And that kept him, unfortunately, that kept him out of these two big games, the quarterfinal and the semifinal. And now he got back into training. He's fine. The plan for tomorrow is that DeMarcus will definitely play the second half for us. We won't kind of overdo it because it might be a 120-minute game. So I don't want to risk anything on his side either. But he says he's fine. He's in good shape and in good spirit. It's a very special moment for him because what he's done, and this is maybe what you saw in the beginning of the training session, my little talk to the team was literally a little talk about DeMarcus. What he gave this team over the last many years has been unbelievable. He's been an outstanding professional. He's been always a giver to the national team program from very early stage on, I think under 17 academy. And it's been always a pleasure. I think probably I speak also in Bruce's and in Bob's name, a pleasure to work with him. This looks like it comes to an end tomorrow. If he doesn't reconsider, maybe. So we want to make it a special day for Bees, and I'm sure that the fans will do that as well. So we're looking forward to that last game of the Gold Cup for us, to a successful one. And I also want to thank all of you for being with us for the last couple of weeks, good 4 weeks. Last little piece was missing, but that's how it is in soccer. You can't predict how things will go. Thank you.
DeMarcus, you want to start off with a few comments after that?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. For me, is I was a part of this from the whole beginning. Even though I only came in from the knockout stages, but speaking to the guys throughout the whole tournament, I know how badly everybody wanted it. I know how badly everybody wanted to win, and make it a little bit easier for us to go to the Confederations Cup in 2017. Obviously, still disappointed that it didn't go the way we wanted it to. But like Jürgen said, that's soccer. It happens, and you can't predict the future. Even as much as you want to, you can't. So and that's the beauty of the sport. It's always something that might happen that you don't expect. So that's the beauty of our game. But yeah, for me, it's I'm happy to be here. I was really humbled and honored that Jürgen asked me to come back and maybe play a part in the Gold Cup again. But it was for me personally, just to touch on it, was like it's a little bit of bad luck. Literally the first training, I got a strained calf, and everyone knows me. I couldn't be more disappointed, in myself and in my leg. that it happened. But you know, it happened, and that's the way it is, and that's the reason why I didn't, you know, play the last couple of games if I was called upon. But yeah, I'm here now. I'm getting fit. I'm hopefully, like I said, get to play a part, you know, tomorrow in the game, and you know, we want to win the game. We want to end on a good note. You know, get, you know, the third place, not what we wanted, but you know, it's a game to be won. You know, we're professionals, so you know, yesterday was a time to, you know, reflect on the game and be disappointed, be frustrated. You know, have all the bad negative thoughts in your mind. But today's a new day. Today's a day we start, you know, thinking about Panama and how we're gonna go about winning the game, and that's what, you know, myself, and I can speak for all the players, we've done our whole careers is, you know, when it's a game to play, you know, you want to win. So that's our focus right now is to end this on a high note, and hopefully we can do that tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Thanks, Marcus. Let's open it up. Doug?
Jurgen, the last time, it's been a long time since you were in a third-place game, the World Cup in 2006. In that game, you gave a chance to a lot of guys that hadn't featured much in the tournament. Outside of DeMarcus, what's the approach tomorrow in terms of personnel?
Well, the key approach is, yeah, we have that option to rotate again and to give guys a run that, you know, were not part of the last game after a bit similar like group stage, you know, three days after a game, very difficult. So we keep definitely a core and we rotate a couple of guys. But I think that the whole group was in this tournament from the beginning on, in a very good spirit, in a very good chemistry within the entire environment that we had. So, and they're all eager. So no matter who steps there on the field tomorrow afternoon, wants to take care of it, wants to make sure that we thank our fans for their tremendous support throughout the tournament, and we get another win in the tournament, and then we look towards September, October, and we're gonna see then on Sunday who's gonna be in that playoff then with us in October, and we start to prepare for that then.
Kyle.
Jurgen, Panama's had a pretty interesting week, I would say, and with everything that went on. What are you expecting from them tomorrow?
First of all, it's unbelievable what they've done throughout the entire tournament. You know, the performance they showed, you know, and also, you know, how they kind of went through all these difficulties, you know, during that match against Mexico. Outstanding performance by the team, outstanding composure by their coach. You know, it's really, really huge how they kind of pulled it still together and held it together. And that's what we expect again. You know, are they angry? Are they disappointed? No, there's no question about it. I mean, but they will give it another go. They play the host. They play, you know, a team that they struggled with in the past. You know, a team that, you know, made sure they're not going to Brazil. So they will give it everything they have. You know, whatever Hernan is fielding out there on his own team, you know, depending on how he approaches it, they will give everything they have. So you can expect another very difficult grind.
Right.
Jurgen, like Doug said, you were in the bronze medal game at the World Cup, and I realize the scale is much different, but does the disappointment in playing in this game, and coaches and players sometimes say they'd rather not play it at all, does that flip once the game starts and you realize maybe the difference between a bronze medal and no medal is pretty big, and do guys tend to sort of take it more seriously than maybe they're talking about beforehand?
I think as DeMarcus said, they are professionals. They have the responsibility to go out there and give everything they have, and we coaches, we have the responsibility to tell them that probably a few more times than they usually do it. So no, we're making sure that this is serious. You know, we want to do well. Are we a bit frustrated after that game against Jamaica? Absolutely, we are. But you know, this is part of the game as well. Sometimes it's not going your way. You know, I don't know how many linesmen would give that a handball by Brett Guzan. I don't know. You know, but this is past. This is done, and we want to make sure that we get a win tomorrow, and we keep on progressing as a whole group. We're gonna keep on developing young players. We keep you know, looking into the future. What is 2-3 years down the road? how does this team look like, and we want to make sure that we give DeMarcus a fantastic moment tomorrow here in Philadelphia.
Let's continue with a question for DeMarcus. Does anyone have one?
DeMarcus, before this press conference, we talked to Michael, and he talked about the narrative of kind of the U.S. and Mexico being here and the rest of CONCACAF being here, and it seems like that's being narrowed, but he said it's always been that way. What do you make of the level of CONCACAF outside of Mexico as you've seen it from the U17s until now? Has it been a progression? Has there been a big jump from some of these second-tier, quote-unquote, teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, you look at the level of commitment that all these teams gave, throughout this whole tournament. Even the teams that's not in the Final Four, every team is progressing. From the youth standpoint all the way up to the first team. The competition is so much higher. The technical and tactical side is a lot better. Organization from different teams is a lot better. I mean, you guys know it from back in my day when I started. With the national team. If you played Panama, if you played Haiti, those games would be a little more easier than they are now. And you can see the progression, and they've done a tremendous job, with their youth systems, developing players as we're trying to do with ours, and they're definitely, catching up to the, quote unquote Mexico, USA, and the top two dogs in CONCACAF. But yeah, it's great to see. It's great to have a lot more competition in our region. And I can't see it, falling off. I think it's going to keep, exhaling, and it's going to be a lot better, these next couple years in the Gold Cup.
Let's go, Jonathan.
Jurgen, you've said many times during your tenure that you want there to be more pressure on this team. You want there to be more criticism of this team because it builds the kind of environment that you want to see. There's been a lot of it. The last couple of days, I'm sure you've seen, there's been a lot of it towards you in particular. Are you surprised how much of the criticism of that loss in Jamaica has been towards you specifically?
No, I mean, that's totally fine with me. You lose a very important game that would have gotten you very close to get that spot already in the Confederations Cup, then you have to expect criticism. You lose games because of certain reasons, some things don't work out, we don't put the chances in, some things, a defender does a mistake. It's all part of the game. And then when those mistakes are made, then it's every right in the world to criticize. That's not a problem at all. But I think it's a very positive as well, because the game is growing here so fast. The attention that the game enjoys now is completely different to a couple of years ago, and maybe that's a good question for Bees too. It's that the players in getting far more appreciation, but also here and there maybe a little bit of criticism. Things don't work out the right way, and it just shows and proves the growth of the game in the United States. That it's going to get only bigger and bigger. So if there's a negative moment, like there was a negative moment with the Jamaica result, not with the game, with the result, then it's fine if people criticize. Then, but you always have to keep the big picture in front of you, and the big picture is, you have to go through a playoff now to qualify for this very important Confed Cup 2017, and you have to keep developing a team that you have in mind towards 2018, who does hopefully better than we did in Brazil. So, and this is why I'm absolutely not negative about certain players that maybe is now a little bit kind of the heat on. If you look at our two young center backs, I think it's enormous talent that is growing through. We're going to help them. If I look just at Ventura and at John Brooks, I think they played together in 7 games, and we only lost this one just a few days ago. They were on the field against Germany, Holland. So they have to go through this pain. We're going to go through pain here and there. We're going to do a step back here and there in order to make them two hopefully forward. It's part of that growth, and if there's a moment to criticize, that's totally fine.
Marcus, to what you just said, referencing you, are you at all surprised by how much reaction there's been?
No, I'm not surprised. I don't think any of the other players are surprised about the reaction. Because obviously from the beginning we wanted to win, and we said that this is a very important tournament that we wanted to do well, and it didn't happen. And losing that game and getting us to the semifinal game, it's gonna cause criticism from you guys, from the media, from outside. But as Jürgen said, we look at the bigger picture. We look at things where it's a growth thing, a growth kind of thing happening with the U.S. team. And these things happen. Mistakes are going to happen in football, and that's not the problem. As long as we learn from our mistakes, and we're better from it, and we take on the criticism from you guys, and we keep our heads high, and we keep striving to be better every day.
Johnny, did you have one?
DeMarcus, if this is going to be a sort of testimonial for you tomorrow, and since you've had time since the winter to maybe think back a little bit, what will in your mind be sort of the enduring memory you have as a U.S. national team player, and what do you think has been your biggest contribution to this national team in your time as a player?
I mean, there's a lot of great moments I've had with the national team, even starting with Tony when I was a young kid.
Tony too.
But that's a question you can kind of ask other players, how they see me as a player, how they see me as a professional, as a person. But for me, my proudest moment was the 2002 World Cup. When I'm looking over and I see my other mate, is 20 years old, standing right next to me in the starting lineup against Portugal. I never would have dreamed that I would make the World Cup at that age. And like I took it with both hands, and I ran with it. So for me, that was my proudest moment. Obviously there's a lot of ups and downs with the national teams, and good moments, great moments, goals, all that kind of stuff. But that moment for me is what will always stick in my head is the best, most proudest moment that I'll take away with me, if this is my last game.
We have time for
I love that one.
a couple more. Let's start down here with the Philadelphia Inquirer.
DeMarcus, you said if it is your last game, where do you stand here? Are you reconsidering, or?
I'm sure this is a conversation that Jürgen and I will have at some point. But obviously, when you get back into the national team and you're around the boys, you're around, just the whole aspect of wearing this, this crest, it sticks on you. You never want to take it off. I'm not going to want to take off my shirt, tomorrow. It's difficult. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know. We've only spoke about the Gold Cup, and if I could, play a part, and I would do that. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to do that because of my calf. But I don't know. I'm not going to say this is 100% million. I'm going to retire again, or whatever you want to say, however you want to write it. But for me, it's not about it's not about that. It's not about me retiring or me coming back or me. The U.S. national team is so much more than that, so much bigger than that. And I'm just a guy. If I do get called in again by Jürgen, I just want to see the team grow. I want to see us win a World Cup at one point. I'm sure when Tony was a kid, he's the same thing. I want to. If I don't get the call again, I'm 100% happy with that. It's not like I'm chomping at the bit to get back and this and that. I love the national team. I love the times that I've had. So if I did get the call from Jürgen again in the future, and if I am playing well with Houston or wherever I am at the moment, then why not? My national team it means a lot to me, and to be on the field with my brothers and wearing this crest and representing my country at the highest level of our sport, you can't get any better than that.
I think if I add something to that is that it's extremely important for us as a national team program that guys like him, DeMarcus or Tony sits in here, or if you look at the age of a Kyle Beckerman or Nick Rimando, that these players remain with the U.S. national team program in some sort of a way. I mean, you know him longer than I do. If a player like him later on decides, okay, what's my next path in my life, and you see him working with young players, becoming youth national team coach, giving all that experience to the next generation of players, this is what you hope as a head coach of a senior team. You hope that these guys stay connected with the game. Go and get your coaching license. Make sure that you learn the other side of the game as well, the organizational side, and many other aspects. But you hope that these guys, are somehow part of the future from the other element. And obviously he wants to still run after the ball for another couple of years, hopefully as many as his legs carry him. But whenever they decide, then it's the moment to move on. Then you want them to be involved. Landon was with the under-20s in New Zealand. You want these players that have such a tremendous experience and have given so much to the program. You want them to be on board in a different way, and hopefully, staying connected with the federation and representing the technical side of the game.
Let's take the last two. We'll go here and then we'll go over there.
Hi, Juven. You say that the tomorrow match against Panama could be the beginning to prepare the playoff game in October. But do you feel more pressure after bad result in this World Cup to the playoff game?
No, obviously, whatever's ahead of you, you want to take care of it. We wanted to take care of it on Wednesday night, and it didn't happen. So now we have to refocus and show a very good performance tomorrow here in the Union Stadium, and then we start to prepare for our September games, very prestigious, big games on the East Coast here, with two amazing teams, Peru and Brazil, and then we're going to have the playoff. So we have to add one more game in that path then, so that's what we're going to do, and we'll hopefully take care of it. No problem.
Michael Lewis, did you have a question to wrap up?
Well, my question
Fighting
is
a lot.
We're all set then.
Well, actually, I do have one about the criticism. In Germany, it could be unrelentless there. Could you compare the criticism that you get in the United States to what you went through when you were national coach in Germany?
Well, I'm not now, 24/7 online. I don't, necessarily follow everything that is said. Obviously, Michael gives me the key things, and I'm informed. I think you see as we spoke previously, there's a growth of interest, huge growth of interest in soccer in this country, and with this, there is more discussion, more debate. Everybody would probably play a different 11 there, has different ideas, have different thoughts about players, judges players differently, and so on. And so it raises also the bar in terms of when things don't work out, that the critics are bigger than before, because of the growth of the game in this country. I think you cannot compare it with Europe still, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Because you walk out of your door in Europe and you get it in your face. But it's part of it. So I take the critic. We reflect on it. We discuss it internally too, what other people say and think, rightfully so. And here and there, you also will make mistakes, as the players do, as referees do. We're all part of that. So nobody's perfect. But we always have to keep in mind what is now the next most important piece in that. So for us, the next most important piece is Panama tomorrow. Is finishing this off, with style, with character, with energy for a great crowd that is coming out to the Union Stadium. And then we're gonna prepare very, very in detail then the matches in September, to learn from those matches then, in order to be spot on in the playoff game, wherever that will be, and CONCACAF will announce that probably later on once the final is played. So.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks to Marcus. We appreciate your time. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow.